Welcome to this week's Marketing Minute with Tony Eads.
Google claims over 1.2 million businesses advertise on the Google search network in the hope of capturing some of the almost 12 billion searches a day made on the network. With $38 billion a year being spent on Google Adwords, what are the secrets to an effective pay-per-click campaign? Well, to answer this and the many myths around online marketing, I'm joined this week by Jenny Kuo of Really Smart Marketing. So Jenny, what are the key elements that make up a Google AdWords campaign?
Well, there are actually 5 main key elements that I can think of to make up an effective AdWords campaign. Well, the first one is to have goals and to know your customer value. That's really important because if you don't understand your customer value, then you won't know how much you can spend to acquire that customer. And the second thing is you've got to have the correct campaign setup and the right structure. And the third thing is you've got to have the correct tracking mechanisms in place so you can make sure that you're tracking everything that comes through on your account. And number 4 is you've got to have a very good lead converting landing page so you can convert those traffic into leads for your business. And last but not least, you really need to spend time optimizing and analyzing your account on an ongoing basis.
So should I be expecting results and click-throughs from day one?
Well, no, you actually can't expect to have results right from day one, but you can expect click-throughs coming in because you are paying for those clicks. And I think, the common misconception about Google AdWords that most people have is that, AdWords bring you instant traffic, but instant traffic, you got to remember, does not equal to instant sales. And, in a real world, say for example, if you have a retail shop, okay, and you have all these people coming into your shop, which in online terms is called traffic, okay, you can't expect 100% of those people to buy your product or services, right? And so that's kind of how you got to look at it in terms of traffic. So traffic, you got to remember, does not equal to instant sales. Sales comes over time.
I've also heard the term negative keywords. What does that mean and why is that important to the campaign?
Well, negative keywords are words that will prevent your ads from showing up. So they basically tell Google, words that your ads shouldn't be showing up for when people type in those search queries. And it's important to have those in your campaign because, say for example, if you're advertising for video production services, right? You want to have negative keywords such as camera. So when people look for video production camera, they are not qualified to be a good lead for your business because they're not actually looking for your services for video production. They're actually looking for a camera. So you want to eliminate that camera keyword. And also, words such as jobs, video production jobs. So if people look for jobs, they're not a qualified prospect for your business. And, and other things like software, say for example, because they're not looking for your services, they're looking for software to help them with their video production.
Well, that makes perfect sense. So what about tracking, for example, tracking your results in advertising? How important is that and what sort of things should we be tracking?
Well, tracking is actually super important. From a marketing and advertising perspective, you really want to be tracking all your marketing and advertising efforts, no matter what mediums you're using, because without proper tracking mechanisms in place, then you won't really know what's really working in your campaign and what's really not working in your campaign. And so without having those data points in your business, then you can't really replicate what's successful for you, that's bringing you leads and customers, and what's causing you to waste money in your campaigns. And so when it comes to AdWords, the things you really want to be tracking is if you're looking to get leads into your business, you want to be tracking email leads and phone leads. So phone leads you can use with call tracking technology that will tell you which leads are converting for you. And if you're selling something directly on your website, then you want to be tracking sales.
I've also heard the term remarketing. What does that mean, and how important is it to the success of the campaign?
Well, remarketing is basically what it does is it allows you to connect your business again to visitors that have previously visited your website. So what normally happens is when you run traffic to a website, usually people will land on your website, click around, and then they leave, right? And that's the end of it. Goodbye, right? And so if you're paying for advertising, you want to make sure that you're maximizing the visitors that are actually visiting your website. So remarketing is a way of showing your ads again to those visitors that have already visited your website to help you bring them back to your business and to recover lost conversions that you previously might not have had when they first visited your website. And there's also another benefit in that you're also keeping your business in the front of their minds when they're actually searching around or around different websites on Google.
So Google AdWords sounds like a fantastic digital marketing concept, but how does that differ to SEO?
Well, SEO, generally speaking, takes quite a long time to achieve, to get your website to show up in the search results. Generally speaking, it's 6 to 12 months. In terms of getting traffic to your website, if you advertise on Google, you will get instant traffic. So you will see results much faster than you would compared to doing SEO. And also SEO, in order to do SEO properly, you need to be able to create a lot of content and a lot of good content over a long period of time to show your authority to Google. To say that, hey, we're an authority, in the interwebs, basically. And last but not least, when you compare SEO and AdWords, AdWords give you a level of control that SEO cannot give you. And I don't know about you, but I like to have control over my business when it comes to traffic, because if you're solely relying on SEO traffic for your business, you are vulnerable to algorithm changes, and what that means is that the ground can be pulled from under you at any time.
And we all know Google is such a big beast, so it's nice to be able to have some control over Google, which you can with AdWords, but not so much with SEO.
That's correct.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Jenny, for sharing your insights about Google AdWords and being part of our Marketing Minute. Well, in our final episode in this series, we look at the world of analytics to truly measure the performance of your website.